Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is a gorgeous day to discuss other people's excellence. I'm the unforgettable one himself, Mr. Brett Carroll. Charles is here for emotional support, and this is our first mock draft. We're going to do things a little bit differently this year. Now that we're on YouTube, we're going to follow the trend. Mock drafts are a huge part of the NFL offseason. We wanted to wait till at least the offseason started. You got people doing mock draft starting week 5 of the NFL season. That's just ridiculous.
Fucking insanity.
We just wanted to at least wait till we at least had the draft order, right? The draft order is here. The Super Bowl is gone. Congratulations to the Rams. And now every team is looking to the draft and to free agency to try to capture the Super Bowl next year. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do our mock draft. I don't know how often I'm going to do these. I think it's a little ridiculous when people do it like every week. However, I do understand the whole point of mock drafts. And this was explained to me by a guy that does them. And I never thought about it like that. It is to show you every possibility in the draft. So when something happens in the draft, you're not surprised, right? When a team does something ridiculous, you're like, wait, why, how, huh? But that's the whole point of these mock drafts. The more you do them, the goal is to kind of do a different scenario every time to show all the possibilities. And I'm not going to lie, even though this is a basketball example, it makes sense, right? I remember in 2013 when the Cavs drafted Anthony Bennett, and it was that memorable moment with Bill Simmons, who was working at ESPN, goes, what? And they're showing him like so disfuddled and confused, and everybody's like, oh my God, how could they draft Anthony Bennett? I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that surprised because I remember seeing mock drafts that had Anthony Bennett going first, and they explained why Anthony Bennett might go first, and the Cavs drafted him going first, and their explanation was very similar. So this is the whole point of these exercises. So if I have a pick that you're like, Brett, you're crazy, there's no way that would happen, just relax, take a deep breath. It's just a possibility, right? We're in the multiverse. This is literally the multiverse. The whole point of these is to show what can go wrong and what will go wrong.
And not to mention, you don't even have to go to basketball. You could go right to football. Me and you have talked at length for two guys that aren't college football guys. Me and you knew the Eagles taking Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson was made zero sense at the time. No disrespect to Reagor. But there's definitely been examples in the NFL of people reaching in the first round. Hell, they said the Giants reached in the first round for Andrew Thomas. And the irony is a couple years later, Andrew Thomas looks like the right pick, while Mekhi Becton for the Jets might be on the way out after this draft if they draft his replacement. So it's just crazy because there's people that overreact the night of the draft. Like the Browns won the draft the year they drafted Johnny Football. 3 years later, he's not even in the league. And there's nights where people get killed for their pick because they have a shitty rookie year, and then by the time they're coming up on their contract renewal, they're getting max money. So, like people overreact in every direction when it comes to the draft.
Right, and I'm sure there was mock drafts that had the Eagles taking Reagor because they might have been plugged in. They might have known that they liked him, or whatever. So that's the whole point of this. So before y'all kill me, and please, we're doing this exclusively for YouTube. So please, in the comment section below, tell me where you think I went wrong, what draft picks you like, whatever. Like, share, and subscribe.
Message Brett on all the social medias and hate on him there.
Yeah, exactly. Like, please, I want this to be an interactive thing. And like I said, this is just one of many. I know I'm gonna do a handful. I just don't know how many. So this is 1.0, and let's just get started, man. Let's do this. We're here. We're gonna start this draft process, and we're gonna have fun with it.
Snap. Brett came prepared.
So here we go. We got the Jaguars, and I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to go Evan Neal. If you are the Jaguars, you have to protect. What's his face?
All right, I'm only useful in like the first 10 picks. So could I get the second one just because I know what I'm doing for this one pick?
Sure, go ahead.
And not to cut off the first pick, but I feel like anybody listening to us who knows it's obvious that the Jags need an O-line, picking the best available O-line, and everybody out there knows none of us are O-line coaches. So I feel like this number one overall pick was kind of obvious. Number two, it gets a little bit more dicey, but not really, because everybody knows the Lions need defense. And you have somebody from Michigan right there, hometown boy, Aiden Hutchinson. I keep saying Adrian. Aiden Hutchinson. That just makes sense. Whenever hometown heroes get drafted to the pro team, fans love it, locals love it, fans that aren't even there and rivals even can dig it. So I just feel like that makes so much damn sense. The Lions might take Thibodeau, but with him being the Michigan product right there, how do you pass him up?
And it's crazy that Kayvon Thibodeau, at least on this big board, has dropped to 5. And I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to have the Texans drafting Thibodeau this time.
You hater. You're a hater because you know he's going to my Giants. You know it.
No. That's what I'm saying. There will be a mock draft where he definitely falls to the Giants. There'll be a mock draft where he falls to the Panthers because his stock is kind of
well, let's talk about that real quick because me and you, at least, I could be wrong. I want to do this clarification that I, as a casual college football fan, and during draft season, I'm one of the most cynical people to ever talk about drafts because I know how many politics are working behind the scenes. Thibodeau said something about Alabama and Oregon and the different products they produce away from football, and how he chose Oregon because it was bigger than football, and he's not just a football player. I'm completely paraphrasing what he was saying. And as we know, the good old boys club, both the boosters in college and the NFL, don't like them free thinkers. They don't like the free thinkers. They don't like the guys that believe they're bigger than football or more than football, not bigger than football. So Thibodeau's stock's been falling since then, since he spoke out about wanting to be more than a football player. And that works for me. Fall to New York. We need some edge rushers, and him and Aziz could do work. But you have him going to who? I'm sorry?
I have him going to the Texans.
The Texans need everything. So
yeah, they need everything. And to me, I still think he's a top 3 product. If you're arguing about the whole football thing, that's stupid.
Well, we're not arguing about it, but we know how the people behind the
right.
scenes.
No, I know that, but that's what I'm saying.
And also Kyle Hamilton. I really do think Kyle Hamilton is going to go 3rd to the Texans.
There'll be mock drafts where I put him there, but again, it's just 1.0. So we're just going, you know what I mean? We got many more to do. 4, okay. A lot of people have the Jets taking Kyle Hamilton. To me, I understand, or even Derek Stingley. To me, if you are the Jets, you have to continue to build for Zach Wilson, right?
Amen.
You got him 2nd overall. You trade away Sam Darnold. Like I said last year, you did more for Zach Wilson in 3 days than you did for Sam Darnold in 3 years. But I think you still have to give him things that will help him because he had an up and down rookie season. That's saying it politely, right? He did not look like the next superstar in the draft. And I mean, in the league. And when you draft somebody 2nd overall, you want to make sure, especially a quarterback, you want to make sure he's a superstar. So I'm going to go with Ick to
Cam Aquanu
to fix that line and help fortify the offensive line for Zach Wilson. And what I'm going to do now, where your Giants, you'll be happy about this. Charles Cross helping your offensive line. Now, this screws the Panthers. The Panthers are hoping that one of these tackles fall to them at 6. They do not.
Well, listen. So there's a scenario, a couple of mock drafts that I paid attention to only because Brett wanted me to. So I've been paying attention to more mock drafts recently. And I saw one that gave us Thibodeau, and then with our 2nd pick, which means the Panthers skipped on him, it was Charles Cross.
Yeah, I've seen.
And I can only imagine between
no way that's happening.
And my boy Brandon, my phone, just between 2 people, will blow up if the Panthers pass on Charles Cross.
There's no way that's happening. There's no possible way that's happening.
But see, you started off this pod saying anything is possible.
Anything is possible. And I will do a mock draft where that is possible. But for this one, it's not. They don't get him because he's not there. Now, they could take Kyle Hamilton. They do need safety help. I am going to do a 1.5. And on my 0.5 is going to be with trades, right? Which is basically, it's going to be the same draft except with trades. Because you want to see those different scenarios and how that plays out. But in this one, they're not going to be able to trade down. They should trade down regardless if Cross is there or not. But they definitely want to trade down now. But they're not going to be able to do that. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to get them. Hold on. Where did it go? We're going to go Tyler Linderbaum, which screws over the Jets because the Giants, because I know the Giants would want him at 7. But guess what? You can't have them. They desperately need this pick. And at the end of the day, if they can't trade down, a lot of people wants to go quarterback at 6. If you go quarterback at 6, you're not even touching your offensive line to the 4th round. They cannot afford to do that.
No, they cannot. And you guys got 3 quarterbacks, so go O-line.
This is definitely where they're gonna just go here. So now, Giants at 7, they can take Kyle Hamilton.
Well, you had us take the O-line first, so I think this is where you have to go pass rush, if not the next best O-lineman.
Well, yes, that's what I'm saying. They could take Kyle Hamilton, or I think they should go edge. I'm gonna have Jermaine Johnson's been flying up boards. I'm gonna have him go to the Giants, and now there will be some Giants fans that are mad they didn't get the double dip on the O-line. A lot of Giants fans wanted that. I would have loved that for that to happen. This is not going to happen this time, only because with that 7th pick, they're not going to reach for an offensive lineman. They got their guy at 5. It's okay. There'll be more offensive linemen to take later on in the draft. At 8, this is interesting. I'm going to go with Sauce Gardner.
Why?
They need edge. David Ojabo could have been the pick there, but their defense needs help altogether. They have, I can't remember the young corner they have already, but him and Sauce would be a beautiful young cornerback tandem. I think that's too enticing to pass up.
But we're doing this. My bad. I'm so used to doing it on podcasts. I was like, say for the listeners what he plays, and I keep forgetting this is the YouTube one. I'm so used to doing our audio only ones that I was like, you're not explaining anything. People aren't going to see this.
Yeah, no. I'm going to Sauce Gardner. Sauce. They get lost in the sauce now. The Broncos, assuming they do not get.
But how crazy, because how often do the top 10 corners, or any secondary for that matter, live up to the draft position of the top 10? Because for all the hate that running backs get and interchangeable and I feel like cornerback is the next one that's the most hit or miss transition from college to the pros.
It is.
Because there's so many corners that go high that don't live up to the hype, but that's unfair because sometimes it's unfair hype. Like Okudah a couple years ago going 2 overall, couple injuries, and now Lions fans are upset with him because he's not Darrelle Revis already. But it's not even a fair transition position wise. So I always feel for these guys, especially in the secondary, they get drafted this high because people want you to be the next Darrelle Revis or Charles Woodson or something like that. And it's just, that's high expectations for probably the hardest position.
Because the problem is you're guarding the best athletes in the world now every single time, right? and the NFL, people don't realize this. A third receiver on the NFL team was probably a number 1 in college, right? So that just tells you how good the wide receivers are in this league. So if as a cornerback, you got to guard the best guys every single time. So, it's hard, but Sauce is he got the length you want, he got the athleticism you want, he's got the technique you want. He played really well against Alabama, so he's proven that he can guard some of the best in the business. If you're Atlanta, again, you could definitely go edge, but I think they need a couple of pass rushers. So this is a deep pass rushing draft. I think they could get some more in the later rounds. Broncos, I'm going to assume obviously the offseason hasn't been here yet, so we can't. We don't know who did what.
Now scroll back up a little bit so we can see where the picks are up at the top. Yeah, there you
go. We're here at number 9. I'm going Kenny Pickett. They got to go somewhere safe. Again, I'm a firm believer in know who you are as an organization. They have not found a quarterback since Peyton Manning left. They have not developed a quarterback since Peyton Manning left. So
they haven't developed a quarterback since John Elway. What are we talking about?
Yeah, true. So as intriguing as Malik Willis would be, you got to know your staff. We can't develop quarterbacks.
You're keeping Elway's streak of drafting the vanilla quarterback alive. You really are.
I'm serious. You gotta get a guy that's gonna help you without you having to do much work to help him. Because I
just feel like that's been the Broncos. And this is the same me. I'm not a Broncos hater. I'm if anything, I'm more of a casual Broncos fan because I have no dogs out in the AFC West. It's just that the Broncos, Elway especially, since he's been in charge, They go for the safe vanilla quarterback picks, like the default, Madden draft 3 years into your franchise mode quarterback picks, and they never work out because you're not taking that risk. You're taking a risk on a guy being turning into a game manager with an arm. You're taking a risk on a guy that might turn into Joe Flacco. Not a Joe Flacco guy, a guy that might eventually become Joe Flacco. So you're not even going after these guys with the high ceilings. You're going after the guys that they're pretty much they're playing to not lose instead of playing to win every time they pick a quarterback. And this would follow the same trend because Kenny Pickett is one of these quarterbacks, as the casual I am, that he is just this name because there's nobody else. Like, we throw Geno Smith out there, but Geno Smith didn't have questions about his hand size in the NFL, which is insane for a quarterback because that's how you control the ball. So this dude, no hate, but I feel like he's dead on arrival if he goes to somewhere like the Broncos. I just really do. I don't think the Broncos have the system in place to develop a quarterback because I have not seen them ever do it.
Yeah, but I don't. I don't think Kenny Pickett needs to be developed much. He doesn't have the highest ceiling in the world, but he's probably the most NFL ready. They have a good offensive line, they have a good running game, they have really good receivers, they have a great defense. He should be. If his hand size isn't a problem, right, and we won't know, then I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be a great quarterback, but I think he's going to be a good quarterback in the league. And if you're the Broncos, I think you'll take that at this point. You can't even get a good one. So I think they'll take that. Jets, again, yes, you can go Kyle Hamilton, you go all this other stuff. I'm sorry, man. If I'm the Jets, I need to know that Zach Wilson is that dude. Now, here's the funny thing. Chris Olave is here ranked 30th. I don't know what the hell Chris Olave did or didn't do during the year, but at the beginning of the season, Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave were like 1A in wide receivers. And somehow, some way, we all just decided, yeah, Chris Olave is like the 5th or 4th receiver on our boards. I don't agree with that. And Chris Olave is probably the best route runner in this draft. I think if you're Zach Wilson and if you're the Jets, that's what you want. You want a guy that's going to run Chris routes, get open, be where the quarterback is expecting him to be, and catch the football. So you're going to say this is a reach, but it's also the Jets. But I'm going to take Chris Olave here.
Not Jameson Williams, really?
Jameson Williams is a burner. He's hurt. Garrett Wilson probably would have been a better, in-between fit. But again, I want the guy that's going to, like I said, run my routes.
But why not Treylon Burks? Why did both of us kind of just skip over Burks? I didn't watch that many Arkansas games. That's why I did.
I like Treylon Burks, but again, Zach Wilson to me needs. I mean, you could go either way. I like bigger receivers anyway. So Treylon Burks would have been a guy that they could pick, and I'm pretty sure in another mock draft I will go Treylon Burks. To me, again, I think for Zach Wilson specifically, if you want to see what this guy can do, get him a receiver that you know will be open, right? Hey, Zach, this is the play. This is the read. This is where the guy is going to be. And when he takes the snap and he does his drops and he looks to where that guy's supposed to be, he's there. And when you throw it to him, I know he's going to catch it.
But Chris Olave is the smallest dude out of the ones we talked about. He's 6'1", 187, while Williams is 6'3", and Treylon Burks is 6'2".
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but 6'1" isn't bad. We're acting like that. He's not 5'10". But
no. I'm not saying he's tiny, but I was saying in regards to size, out of the three we just brought up, he was the smallest one.
Right, but I think if you want to develop Zach Wilson, because again, he's a developmental project. If you want to develop him into a better pocket passer, you want guys that are going to run crisp routes and be open so that he can focus on delivering out of the pocket instead of just running around and trying to make plays outside of the pocket. That's just where I'm at with that. Washington Commanders. Now, here's where it gets a little interesting. To me, they got to go quarterback. I mean, they have to. However, I think they would have also wanted Kenny Pickett. I don't know if they want a guy that is a developmental guy either. They want to win now, and Kenny Pickett gives them a better chance. So
You think they're going quarterback?
the Commanders, yeah, what else do they need? They don't really need much. They need a quarterback. Tyler Heineke isn't the guy. They would have wanted Kenny Pickett. Sam Howell is interesting because he's from North Carolina, so it's still kind of local. Um, but
It's
he's
just
more,
it's a reach regardless of what you're going to do at pick 11 to take any of these quarterbacks. If anything, if they need a quarterback that bad, and they do, I'm not saying they don't, but if they have a manageable situation, I would try. If I so, I know this isn't your trades draft, but this is the first trade I think is realistic of trading
right.
back.
Well, yeah, but this ain't the trades draft, so you gotta go with what you
I
got.
know, but I would go wide receiver, or I'd go wide receiver or defense. I really would.
Yeah, every mock draft has these guys taking quarterback here.
It's crazy to me. Like because this is just not the draft, and this is one of those drafts that we're overvaluing just because of a position instead of a realistic look
Yeah,
at.
but also you got to think about it like this. A lot of people think that Ron Rivera is on the hot seat and that he needs to win, and they feel that they are a quarterback away from being a legit contender, especially in that division, right? Because outside of the Cowboys, I mean, the Eagles got into the playoffs last year, but it's still kind of wide open in a lot of people's opinion.
No, 100%. If anything, and it's like not like I like this Fugazi team, but they would have been more competitive than the Eagles in the playoffs
Absolutely.
with
So
Tyler Heineke. Shout out to the XFL. I'm all for these dudes getting their spot and earning it. And Tyler Heineke wasn't the best, but damn, there was worse quarterbacks than it.
yeah, absolutely. But I think they go Malik Willis here. They go with the upside because they have to. Um,
I mean, and Malik Willis is one of those quarterbacks that, for whatever reason, because if you were new to the sport, you would never think Ron Rivera would like a quarterback like Malik Willis, like on face value. Then you look back at all his time in Carolina and which kind of quarterbacks he's had success with, and he's the type that, man, if for Malik Willis, I mean, he's landing with a coach that might just be able to get the exact best out of him. It's one of those relationships that it will either be a match made in heaven or they're gonna mix like milk and oil. Like there's no in between. I think.
And here's the thing: Malik Willis, from everything we hear about him, he's a great guy, amazing, like the type of dude you would want to date your daughter. Amazing person. And I think he knows he has work to do. And I think he would listen to a guy like Ron Rivera. So if you're Washington, you might be confident in the fact that you could develop this guy. And he has the highest upside of any of these quarterbacks. So I can see where the Commanders would love taking a guy like that. Now, if you are,
can we just say real quick that like we all hated the Commanders when we first heard it, and I was supposed to say like a week later already. It's really not that bad of a name. There's so much worse names.
It's not terrible, but PTI made a great point. As journalists, that's a terrible name because we have to abbreviate that. What are we gonna? We can't call them the commies. Like, what?
Oh no, everyone's gonna call them the commies. I'm just surprised they didn't go with like Red Hawks or Red Wolves or Red Knights.
Red Wolves. I thought the Red Wolves would have been fire. You could have had a wolf head logo with the ears and the crown of the head, like to kind of make a W.
You know which one I heard first, and I mean first before they actually dropped the Redskins name. So this is probably like 2015. One of the first names I heard floated that would have matched the area, DC area, that would have still been a historical name was Red Tails. For those who don't know, Red Tails were an all black, there's no not Air Force, but there's like squad.
It sounded good. There's no way they would have done that.
But the logo I saw, like obviously it was just somebody.
I know what you're talking about, and actually got a lot of headway on Twitter and everything like that
because it matched perfectly. You didn't have to change much, and I'm just surprised. Commanders also matches when you're thinking about timeless names that could work in the NFL. I really think we all overreacted in a split second. I mean, guys, there's teams called the Browns and the Chargers. Commanders really isn't that bad. We have the Texans.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's the worst name in history, but
the commies. We're all going to call them the commies. And they also missed the boat because the colors aren't red. And it's kind of like you could really lean into the commies and just kind of become heels and people would actually like you for it. But we all know that Dan Snyder is a piece of shit.
And not only that, the W logo that they came up with, it did look like clip art. I'm like, dang, who came up with that?
Oh yeah, it looked uninspired, not lazy, not but uninspired. Like you guys just didn't care that much to change anything. And the fucked up part is most people by when they heard Commanders said, "Damn, I already got used to watching the football team. We could have just rocked with WFT if we were going to go with Commanders." So it's just crazy how we become acclimated and accustomed to shit in such a short amount of time that I think by the time
well, I knew that was gonna happen. Everybody hated the football team, and now half the people are like, oh, I kind of like the football team. Just keep it. So whatever. But moving
especially
on,
the soccer fans in the world, because football club, soccer club, it's just part of the sport,
right? Moving on. At 12, if you are a Vikings fan, you are ecstatic.
Wait, you didn't draft Kyle Hamilton?
I did not.
What the hell? The Vikings would not pass on Kyle Hamilton.
Yes, they would. Their cornerback room is terrible. Might be the worst in the league. You get Derek Stingley Jr. at 12, you are taking it. You are taking it.
How do you think Derek Stingley Jr. would fit in the Viking system? Well, we don't know yet. They do have a new coach, so yeah,
we don't know yet, but I think he'll be fine.
That's how stable the Vikings organization is. I forgot.
And by the way, taking LSU guys for the Vikings has worked out recently. So I think they'll I think they look good in purple and yellow, right? So I think they'll be
also
fine.
LSU guys are turning into what Alabama guys mostly are, and just consistent pros. Like even if they're not the best starters in the world, they usually stay in the league.
So now here you go. Here's where things get interesting. If you are the Browns, are you taking Baker Mayfield's replacement with Sam Howell, who is a better Baker Mayfield? Are you trying to help Baker Mayfield by getting a receiver, which, it's crazy because you kind of had a receiver, but you let him go. Do you take Kyle Hamilton because he's the best player available? And he does fit a need. It says right here they could use a safety.
It's the Browns. They're drafting Garrett Wilson, Ohio State.
It's the Browns. They're drafting Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. Yes, that's the best way we could put this. Yes, that's the pick. Now, here's where I scream and rip my hair out, because here comes the fucking Ravens. And
Kyle Hamilton.
Look at this. Look at what they
know what it is. They're taking any of those three dudes right there. Kyle Hamilton, Jordan Davis, or David Ajobo.
Ajobo, Kyle Hamilton.
They're going with Kyle Hamilton.
They're going to go David Ajobo because they need edge more than they need.
Either way, it's trouble for you.
Yes, and I hate it, but this.
No, my hatred is here now. Look, you drafted David Ajobo, and now these fucking birds. Was the tanking worth it, you pieces of shit?
This is where shit gets interesting. Now, Treylon Burks is the thing here. They could use another wide receiver outside of Devontae Smith. And to your point, here's why I really like a bigger receiver to kind of give a compliment, right? But they have 3 picks in the next 5, in the next, 5? So let's just hold on that. Kyle Hamilton.
I think they go wide receiver first, just because that's been such a problem for them. You give the fans what you want. What they want, right? And there's a couple wide receivers right
I'm going here. George Karloftus. From everything.
Okay. Man, it seems like a homework pick, so I'll let you rock.
Yeah, from everything I'm hearing, he screams Eagle. He screams Eagle. They need edge rush. They get edge rush. And so what do you do here now? They need offensive line. They could go in a number of different spots here. Kyle Hamilton is so intriguing here, because how do you not take him at 16? How do you not, get a guy that is this talented? But you need more things besides safety. You can use Andrew Booth here, corner. You can do it. And I think that's what they do. I think they take their chances and they go here, which leaves, and this is where they get screwed. The Chargers are probably going to lose more. What's his name? Mike Williams. I don't know and a lot of people want them to take Jordan Davis because they have one of the worst run defenses in the league. But I don't see how, if you just watched what happened last year in the Super Bowl and in the playoffs, your guy Justin Herbert right now is the outside guy looking in. Joe Burrow quickly overtook him as the best young quarterback in the league. when that was supposed to be when we thought that was Justin Herbert's spot. Remember, Justin Herbert won Rookie of the Year, not Joe Burrow, but that's because Joe Burrow got hurt.
And that's because Justin Jefferson was robbed.
Right. And that's because Justin Jefferson was robbed. But if you're the Chargers, I think you have no choice but to continue to give him weapons. If you're going to let Mike Williams go because you can't pay him, why don't you get Treylon Burks, who's like the same guy? Treylon Burks goes here. You can get a defensive tackle later. I know they got to fix that run game, that run defense. Saints are another team. Have a lot.
How is Kyle Hamilton still here?
Hey, listen, a lot of different ways you can go here. I think with everything that they need right now, they got a lot. They're going to lose some offensive line help. They're going to lose a lot of people here. But you know what? I think they take Kyle Hamilton simply because it's best player available. They don't necessarily they do need a safety. I think if you're the Saints here, you're just trying to get some hope back. A guy like Kyle Hamilton might stir the shit, but fuck that. We're going Jameis Winston. We're getting a wide receiver. Come on now.
Okay, so this is where Kyle Hamilton goes.
There you go. If you're the Eagles, you're sitting there like, all right, we passed on them twice.
I was going to drive to you and punch you in the face if you had Kyle Hamilton go to your Steelers. I swear to God. I was like, this whole thing was an elaborate way to get the Steelers this safety. This whole fucking thing.
No, we don't need. We have Minka Fitzpatrick. Why would we take Kyle Hamilton?
It ain't a problem having two good safeties. Stop it.
Yeah, but they play the same position. Now, if you are
Tomlin would figure it out. Are we really acting like Tomlin having two good safeties? He'd be like, I could never get these guys on the field at the same time. Is that really what we're saying?
Here's what now. Steelers, you need offensive line. I know we said we're not going to predict that we're gonna what we're gonna do in free agency, but I have to believe we are going to spend all of our money on the offensive line. I have to believe that.
But also, this is where me and you differ in our mocks. The only place I think we would differ if I was doing this and controlling the drafts and not you, besides Kyle Hamilton going a lot earlier, I think this is where the quarterbacks are going to fall. And unlike guys taking them early in this draft, we're going to have a repeat of like 10 years ago, and we're going to see the quarterbacks fall to like the later first part of the round. So teams like the Steelers, teams like the Cardinals,
but
teams like the Packers.
The Steelers, I'm sorry, I don't care what we do in the offseason, free agency, I will scream if we take one of these quarterbacks. We are not a mediocre quarterback away from being good. We have way too many holes on the offensive line. We have way too many holes on our defensive line. We have way too many holes on our defense, period. Get those things first.
I'm just saying, we didn't see the Packers drafting Jordan Love when they didn't need him. If Tomlin likes a Malik and he's still there,
well, he's not still there. That's exactly why I got rid of his ass. So that's not even.
Oh wow! See, I knew there was some type of Steelers bias with these decisions. That
not even. I'm telling you, Washington's going to highly consider a quarterback. Now, if you're the Steelers, I think I'm assuming that you've already spent the free agent money on
Trevor Penning, bro. You got to go Trevor Penning.
No, I just said I'm assuming that we spent the money on the offensive line, and a guy like Devin Lloyd. Oh my goodness, yes sir.
Interesting.
The middle linebacker that we need, I will take it. Thank you. Now, if you are the Patriots,
Jordan Davis.
No, not Jordan Davis. They already have a good run defense. They need corners. J.C. Jackson's probably going to be gone. Trent McDuffie is a little small.
There's no Rutgers guys for Belichick to take.
There is no Rutgers guy for Belichick to take this time.
This is where he takes a Rutgers guy, everybody. When he needs a corner, he goes to Rutgers.
So, you know what? I'm not liking any of these I'm not liking any of these corners right now. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give him Drake London. I'm going to hate it. I'm going to hate every I'm going to hate every part of this, but I'm giving what's his boy? Matt Jones. I'm giving him a primetime weapon. I'm gonna hate every second of that, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Bill ain't taking no receivers. Stop.
No. A lot of mocks have him taking Chris Olave here, for the exact same reason why I said he should go to the Jets. Jordan
Interesting.
Davis going to the Raiders, get that run defense fixed.
Whoa! You went defense and not wide receiver?
Yeah. Well, their Alabama burner is already gone, so who are they going to take? There's no speed guys left. They're not going to take a wide receiver. If you are the Cardinals, I don't know what the hell's going on with Kyle Hamilton. I mean, with Kyler Murray. I don't like it one bit, but I think.
So while we're on the Cardinals, real quick, I have a real fan question to ask you because I saw this already online and get mentioned, and I thought I was crazy when I thought of it. So I'm just happy I'm not the only football fan that was thinking of it. But could Kyler get traded to the Giants?
He could. Like,
I saw somebody mention that, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going crazy because usually in situations like this, they get moved or the coach gets fired. But what we're hearing from the Cardinals is the Cardinals talking a lot of shit about Kyler not being a leader, which also just speaks volumes about the coaching.
Yeah, but I also think, and this is what Stephen A said, and he makes a good point. I think it's because he's about to get paid and they don't want to pay him that much. So, but they're probably going to lose Christian Kirk in the offseason. We saw once DeAndre Hopkins went down, that offense really stalled out. I think they go try to replace him. I got him going Dotson right here.
Jahan Dotson.
Now the Cowboys, are probably sitting there pissed off that Kyle Hamilton didn't fall. They might have traded up with the Eagles at 19 if that was a real thing, if we were doing that. But they can use some help in a lot of different ways. I have them taking, let me see. This is going to hurt me. But Kenyon Green, shore up that offensive line, get it back to what it used to be so that your offense can run more efficiently. That hurt me. That hurt me. I hate the Cowboys, but that's a solid pick for them. And then the Bills. The Bills also are probably hurt that Kenyon Green is gone. They would have loved to have taken him. They need some edge help. Why not? Let's see who else is here at the edge. The Kobe Dean is still here. Oh, wow. The Kobe Dean is still here. Ooh. The Marvin Leal is still here. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. That's a good, yeah. And now for the Titans. Yeah, I think you're going to Kobe Dean. I definitely think you're going to Kobe Dean here. Get that defense up even better. Fit. Now they could go quarterback here if they really don't like Tannehill, but I don't think I think they're smart enough to not overreact to that.
I mean, they lost a lot in big part because of their quarterback. So, but this isn't the draft to replace Tannehill. I'm not even a Tannehill fan, and I don't think this is when you replace him in this weak ass draft.
Right. I'm gonna go Trent McDuffie here. Get the value.
So now we've hit really interesting. We have no idea. Like, this is still a really good team. They need a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I know there's a lot of rumors about Jameis to the Steelers, but like, what are the possibilities Jameis goes back to the Bucs?
People have said that. I don't think Bruce Arians would ever want him back, though. I just don't see it. They're going to lose. They have a lot of, you know what? There's a lot of, they can use some offensive line. They might lose their center and
I would take Trevor Penning here because he's fell. It's almost double where he's supposed to have gone at 15, right? So,
but they don't.
You re-up that O-line.
Yeah.
Because there's not the receiver that you're in love with. There's not the tight end you're in love. Maybe there's a tight end they're in love with, but I don't think
not
so.
Not necessarily though.
But that's what I'm
You
saying.
could
So
take
go
John
there.
Michie. Yeah, at this point, the wide receivers are probably not where you want to go. But
You have to go O-line here, man. Like, because regardless, you want to re-up on the line. Like, you're going to start clearing money eventually with this Bucks team. Tom Brady ain't here no more. Or some of
you're
these
right. You're
contracts.
right. Let's do it. Let's do it now. We know the Packers aren't going offense. We know that for a fact. They don't go offense. They never will. We're gonna go Trevon Walker, edge right there. Now, again, the Dolphins. Whew, Dolphins need a lot of help.
Matt Corral.
Let's see who's. Oh, Falele is still here, but see, tackles are not really the value here. Let's see. Let's see what else.
Wide receiver, bro.
They could go wide, but even wide receiver, that's not really the value anymore.
Let's see.
All the good wide receivers are gone.
I mean, David Bell doesn't look like too much of a reach. It's like it's 8 spots from where he's projected to go, but at the same time, if you need it,
that's if you love him.
Well, yeah, but some of these teams just need to re-up on the position. So do you want to re-up with talent or do you just want to re-up with numbers? Because if you really need a wide receiver, okay, you could wait because you're going to reach on one, or you're just going to have a bunch of dudes that are pretty much 5th round picks going in the 3rd because there's nobody else to take.
I'm going to take Zion here, actually. Zion is first of all, Zion has shot up boards. Zion was a guy I thought the Steelers would get in the 2nd round. He has shot up boards. You get him here at 29, help that offensive line, which you desperately need help with. I think that's the best value right now. Let's go Zion. Now we have the Chiefs, and the Chiefs could definitely use a wide receiver. They can definitely use edge. They could use a running back. I don't know where they go here. You could go Roger McCreary. Roger McCreary makes sense. Get some cornerback help that defensive line out. I mean, that defensive backs groups out.
I think they go corner. What's his face kept getting burned. They literally showed Honey Badger's same reaction to the same play he keeps getting burned on.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if you're the Bengals, you need offensive line help badly. So I think you're going to reach here. No, I don't care who's left. Falele or Petty Frere, whoever you think is better. I think they have no choice but to go offensive line. Actually, wait. Let's see.
No, they're going all line, bro.
No, I know, but let's see if there's any guards that are a little bit more valuable. No, not really. Not really.
Yeah, they're going to go with whoever they thinks would actually be the best fit.
Yeah, not really. So let's just go with the offensive tackle here. There's no way you cannot go offensive line here. Take Falele, even though he didn't really have a great Senior Bowl. But now here's
you can't overrate one game though.
Here's where it gets interesting for the Lions. If Malik Willis was here, I would have taken him. You have Jared Goff. You can let him sit.
So weird the Lions having the 32nd pick.
Right, like that, because that would never happen.
You see that memes? Somebody tweeted out, "I never thought I'd live to see the day where the Lions were picking 32nd in the 1st round."
I really they could do a lot of things here. They have a lot of needs. To me, the value is taking Matt Corral here. You can take him and stash him. Right, he's hurt, so he's not going to play next year anyway. He needs some time to develop. You have Jared Goff. There's not really any. Now, the Kobe Dean is still here, though. Damn. Kobe Dean.
They need defense, bro. They probably go Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, at this point, because Nakobe Dean is still there, you probably have to take him. But at 30, I'm telling you, one of these mock drafts.
And Cam Thomas, bro. Like, they're going defense. I know you made a great point just now for taking a quarterback, and that's after me saying how much I think these quarterbacks are being overvalued. But the Detroit Lions need defense, and it's right there. You take it.
Yeah,
because any of them, Dean, Wyatt, or Thomas, where they're ranked, this is a value position to draft them.
Yeah, and there's no wide receivers available here that's helping you.
No, there's no superstar wide receivers. They need defense. Like, that's what they need.
Yeah.
They are very likely to trade up to get the defensive guy that they want.
And here you go. So here's our draft order. This is 1.0. This is just one infinite reality in the multiverse. So eat your hearts out. Go ahead and tell me how crazy I am. I mean, I think our first five are completely, you know what I mean? Like, these are probably going to be the first five picks just in a different order. Kyle Hamilton obviously could be.
Well, don't get me wrong. Thibodeau could get taken before us at any position, but with all the talk of him falling, he's who I hope we take at 5, just as the fan that I am. If there was a scenario like I saw online today, somebody had us getting both Thibodeau and Cross, I'd be the happiest Giants fan.
Yeah, unless the Panthers trade down at 6, which I want them to do, there's no way that's happening. There's no KT at 5. I can see that, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Here you go. I know
the Panthers. They might take a D lineman or something.
No, a lot of people haven't taken Sauce Gardner because it's like, oh, they'll lose. Oh, they might not re-sign Stephon Gilmore. Great. We have a bunch of corners. We're gonna re-sign some of them. We'll let some of them go, but we're gonna re-sign. Now, Kyle Hamilton at 6, I can see that. They need a safety. If the offensive linemen aren't there, why not take the best player available who's also a need? However, they have to get that off. They're not doing. I don't care how good our defense is next year. They're not going to be able to do shit without that offensive line being better. So they had no choice but to do this here. I know Chris Olave. I know that's a reach. I know a lot of people are going to hate that pick, but
Jets fans especially.
But like whatever. If you're a Minnesota fan, you are jumping for joy right now. If you're a Cleveland fan, you're probably happy. If you're a Baltimore fan, you're definitely happy. I think if you're an Eagles fan, you are ecstatic right now. Your defense is, I mean, look at this. George Carloftus, Andrew Booth, and Kyle Hamilton. I understand you probably didn't make your offense any better, but with a defense like that, mind you, this is only round 1, guys. This is only round 1. They still can get wide receivers in the second round. You saw that there were still a plethora of wide receivers. They just weren't first round quality. If you're the Eagles in this mock draft, you are happy. I think Chargers and Saints fans should be happy. I know I'm happy. If Devin Lloyd fell to us at 20, I'm ecstatic. Give me an inside linebacker that's going to be our Ray Lewis for the next 10 years. I love it. I kind of like this. I kind of like where we went with a lot of these picks. It got a little dicey these last 4, right? Because
it could be anybody.
Yeah, it got a little dicey these last 4 picks. But
on paper, this isn't a great draft.
What do you mean?
Compared to other years where there's more defensive names, for lack of a better term. Like Diggs, like a couple of years ago, Diggs was projected to be a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick. Like guys that fans are actually super hyped for going late, like a Honey Badger or something. This isn't one of those.
Hold on, Kobe Dean at 32. I think Lions fans are ecstatic.
Oh no, I'm saying they're happy. I just
Trayvon Walker is a really good pick. There were other guys I could have picked.
Is there a name you feel like you left off that could have went in the first round that anybody would be upset that isn't in this mock right now? I'm asking. Yeah. As a casual,
absolutely. There's a couple of names. The other defensive lineman for Georgia is still on the board right now. I'm trying to think of who else is still on the board right now. There's a couple of names that I saw. They just didn't fit. They just didn't fit the needs of the teams that were in that bottom half of the bottom quarter of the draft. But yeah, there's a lot of first round talent that's still on the board right now. Even a guy like Matt Corral, you saw that he was ranked 29th on the big board. So I mean, if you need a quarterback, again, if you're the Lions, you could take Matt Corral to 2 more picks in the second round. Now, obviously, this is just a first round thing, but that's I think this is a good first one. And so, like I said, I'll do a 1.5 probably next week, where it's basically these same scenarios just with trades, because you want to see how that will play itself out. Well, I'll definitely do another one after the combine, after we see how some of these guys rise and fall after the combine. I'll try to do as many as I can before the draft. I want to usually hit major points in the off season, like the pro days and stuff like that, when we can really see where these guys are rising and falling on people's boards. Like I said, I'm probably not going to do these every week because after a while it just gets silly, like Kyle Hamilton going first overall and stuff like that, which again is possible, but like, you don't want to get too crazy with these. But these are just little things. And a lot of this too, what you'll probably see is it might not be the same player, but it's the same mindset, right? So with Chris Olave, we could have easily just went with another wide receiver, right? I still think that's where they should go. They should think offense the first 2 picks because you have a guy that you drafted number 2 overall. You should be doing everything in your power to get him all the help he can get on the offensive end. And I understand that a good defense also helps a young quarterback. But again, it's not like this offense was humming last year and now you just need a great defense. This was a very up and down offense. You want to at least make sure that your guy at quarterback is the guy, right? You invested a lot in him. I think they should at least invest in him some more. And again, this is a very deep defensive draft. So in the second round on, if you need to fix your defense, you can do that. There's a lot of good to answer Charles, to answer your point. There was a lot of safeties that were left on the board. So even though they didn't get a Kyle Hamilton, the Jets might be looking at some of these safety to replace Marcus May in the second round. So there's a lot. And obviously, like I said, I'm going to do more of these, especially after free agency, because a lot of this can change, right? If the Jets go out and sign a bunch of wide receivers, then maybe they can go defense with these first 2 picks. So, a lot of this will change after free agency period. But this is just 1.0. I'll do a 1.5 next week, which will basically be the same draft, just with trades. So change it up a little bit in that aspect. But then when we do a 2.0, I'll probably wait till maybe after the combine to do that, and maybe after free agency starts, so we can really start seeing what could really happen here. But I appreciate you guys. You can find me at Never For Brett Me. That's NEVA_4 BRETT_ME on Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah. I'm at Not the Chuck D on all the socials. We're at www.the.dope.blog. We're at _dope blog on Instagram, at the dope blog, all one word, on Twitter. And
once again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate it. And join us next time as we continue to discuss other people's excellence.
Peace, y'all.